first, let's take a time out and say hello to our next guest. Mid last week, I reported that Anthony Pettis will, in fact, be moving up to 170 pounds, and he will be fighting Stephen Wonderboy Thompson March 23rd in the main event of the UFC's return to to Nashville, Tennessee, UFC Fight Night Nashville, to be exact. This is interesting stuff. Want to hear from one Anthony Pettis about how this all went down and why he's moving up to 170. Let's say hello to Showtime, who's standing by. Anthony, how are you?
Hey, what's up? How you doing?
I'm doing great. Okay, so that's the big question. Why are you moving up to 170?
For the fight, man. Honestly, for the Wonderboy fight. It wasn't like something that crossed my mind. Like I want to be at 170, and like I want to like go for a title run at 170. My manager Abe was like, "Hey, there's an opportunity to fight Wonderboy. Like if you're interested in moving 170." I've hinted at it a couple times, like just taking a fight up there to see how I feel. But that fight specifically is something that I want. I want to fight a guy that, when I seen him fight, I mean, first of all, the guy's great talent. I love the way he fights. I love the way he just kept the traditional martial arts and made it successful in the cage. And I come from a traditional background, so I feel like it's a fun fight for me. It's an interesting matchup, and it's a huge test.
Okay, so like right now, here we are, around 2 months away from the fight. How much do you weigh?
I weigh 190 right now.
Oh, wow. And is that typical for you in between fights?
Well, actually, after the hand injury, man, I couldn't do a lot of sparring. I couldn't do a lot of training. I had to like put the hand deal. So it's like you got to come back and I can start trying to cut down to 55 again, or this fight popped up at an interesting time. It was like the opportunity presented itself. I love the matchup. Obviously Duke loves the matchup. Duke coached against him twice now, so he's definitely had enough time to study him. He knows my strengths, and he feels confident. I always feel confident, so that's why we took this fight.
So it's interesting.
Well, that's why we made the fight happen.
Right. You mentioned Duke. Duke did an interview recently, I believe it was with MMA Junkie, and he said that he feels like he's almost been preparing you for this kind of opponent for quite some time. Do you feel the same way? Like, do you feel like this is the kind of style that you've been preparing for? And if so, why do you feel so comfortable against this kind of style?
Well, this is the style I grew up doing. I have way more time on the mat doing traditional Taekwondo point sparring than I do mixed martial arts. Even though like later in my life I started doing jiu-jitsu and the wrestling and the kickboxing, but Taekwondo is where I come from. I've been doing it since 5 years old, so it's kind of like a test for me. My traditional skills versus his traditional skills in the octagon, I'm superior.
And is this someone that you've actually sat down and watched and said like, oh, one day, in the midst of being at 155, even 145, probably not on your radar, but did you ever think this would be a fun guy to fight?
Man, so my first couple fights in my career were at 170. I could find guys at 55, so I fought at 170 before, and I know how it feels to fight at that weight class and the weight cut. So I just feel like right now is the time for me, to try see how I feel at 170 pounds without that weight cut, without having to get down to 155 pounds and then perform the next night. Let's see how I can perform and who I'm better against than top 5 in the world. I don't want to fight nobody in the top 15, top 20. I wanted to come up there have a fun, tough first fight and see how I feel.
How is your hand feeling?
Man, the hand is good actually. So I had a hairline fracture. The doctor in Vegas, so advised me if I get surgery, it would be a long time out, or we can treat it with a cortisone shot. We went the cortisone shot route. There's no pain, then you should be okay to compete and start training. And we did that like about a month ago. And but we did the test on it a month ago. So I've been punching for about 3-4 weeks now, and it feels fine.
Okay, and no surgery?
No surgery.
Okay, wow. Did you think initially that you would need surgery?
Well, I keep breaking the same hand, the same spot, and the same punch. Like on my Ferguson fight, the second overhand right, when I went to the top of the head, all that pressure on that one knuckle, and I keep getting that same little hairline fracture. So it's a technical error that I got to fix, and me and Duke are just cleaning it up, making sure that right's a laser right, not overhand.
So you actually think it's a technical error that keeps doing it, not like the wear and tear on that particular knuckle?
Well, obviously there's wear and tear, but I mean when a bone breaks and it heals, it comes back stronger. But for me, it's just the way when I'm throwing my overhand right, all the pressure's going on that one knuckle, and hands ain't made to hit hard objects like that, and my knuckles give it. Okay.
I haven't talked to you since the Ferguson fight. Have you watched it?
I have. Man, that was a fun fight. It's frustrating because I felt so good in there, man. I felt free again. I felt loose. I felt like just fearless again. Obviously Ferguson's a tough guy, man. He that pressure he brings I needed my right hand, and I think Duke made the right call. And after watching it, Duke made the right call. Without that right hand going into another third round with him, I would have took a lot more damage. The only thing keeping him off of me was that right hand.
So, yeah, so you're talking about the fact that Duke actually called off the fight, right, in between the second and third round? How did that go? How did that go? Because that's a very rare thing in our sport. We don't, it's controversial. We've seen it with Raquel Pennington. The corner is actually convincing her to remain. She's trying to get out of the fight. How did that discussion go between you two?
Well, it really wasn't a discussion. I think me and Duke just have an understanding. He knows my body and who I am. I mean, he's been with me my whole career. The hands started happening in the Max Holloway fight. The Max Holloway fights when I went southpaw, same punch, like same kind of style of a punch, and I hit with that one knuckle. I broke in the Holloway fight. It broke in the Holloway fight, and then after the Holloway fight, it just kept like re-injuring itself. Jim Miller fight, I broke it again, like a hairline fracture, and then this last fight. So, I mean, we've been there before. We've fought with broken hands. Tony's not the guy to fight with a broken hand. I mean, more elbows, more cuts, more stitches. Like it's kind of a. I probably could have went out there and started trying to elbow and kick more, but I mean, who knows what could happen? I think at this point in my career, with where Duke is at, I think he knows what's best for me. Okay,
so if he didn't stop the fight, do you think you actually would have gone out there, or would you have told him you're done?
No, most def. I mean, if Duke tells me to fight, I'm fighting. Like I trust my coach that much. I trust my team that much. I mean, Duke's seen me with a dislocated shoulder, and we fought before, but. I at the same time I have to trust his advice. He's my coach for a reason. So, there was no, I didn't disagree with him. I mean, he made the call. He was watching from the outside. He knows what I'm capable of. He knows my skill set. He knows how hard I trained, and he made the call, and that's I got to respect it.
Why do you think more coaches don't do that? Why do you think it's such a uncommon thing in our sport? It's so common in boxing,
because
but in MMA,
it's the difference between making your show money or your show and win money. And these guys are. Their show and win money isn't that much money. So it's like, hey, do you want to be able to have another training camp and still be able to pay all your bills, or that's the kind of decision that these guys are making. I'm just going to go out there and get my win money. So I think, and maybe they're just not that comfortable with their coaches yet. Like I've literally been with Duke since my first fight in any kind of octagon, any kind of mixed martial arts. So maybe that's another issue.
I'm so happy that you said that, Anthony, because I've been banging this drum for the last couple of years, and people have said, oh, you just care about the money, you're just talking about the money. No, I feel like the pay structure in this sport, unlike in boxing, leads to the corners to have to make this decision based on finances or not, and say, look, I don't want to rob this fighter of half of his money, so let him go out there, see what happens, throw a Hail Mary, maybe he wins, so that I don't get blamed. But that's an impossible spot to be in if you're a coach, right? It's almost unfair to put the coach in that position because of the pay structure. If we had just one purse, you show you get paid what you're owed, then I think we'll see more of those stoppages, correct?
Correct. I think you're going to take care of your body because you know that you have another opportunity at it. And this isn't like boxing, where boxing is just straight punching, and you can be tough and out tough your being smart of stopping the fight. If you get dropped, you got 10 seconds to get back up and try to get your wits about you. And in mixed martial arts, the ref has that decision. So I think a lot of coaches are like, well, let the ref stop it, and let's see what happens. Because if you get a bad hit, you're not defending yourself. The ref stops it.
That's right, and then you don't get blamed. Up until that point, what did you make of the fight and your performance in the fight?
Man, I had a great time, bro. I had fun again in there. I forgot what he was having fun. I threw some crazy stuff. He threw some crazy stuff off the cage, elbow punch, whatever he threw. He landed some big shots. I landed some big shots. I dropped him. I hurt him. It was a fun fight, man. I think we won Fight of the Year, so I think the fans loved it too. Obviously, I hate the fact that I came up short. I definitely would have been winning that fight. Would have been so much more, but it just reminded me of how I should feel in there. Take that pressure off, go in there, perform, and try to finish these guys. Go out there and try to finish these guys.
Yeah, you told me before the fight that you were just that you had a mental block. The mental block is over. You're just having fun. You're fearless out there. Did you feel like you fought that way? And has that now carried over into even though you didn't win and it didn't prove to be a victorious night for you? Do you still feel that same way heading into this challenge?
I feel even more better. After that fight and after seeing it again and remembering how it felt to be putting on that kind of show. I mean, obviously I took some damage, but I just my training feels better now. I feel more confident in my training. I feel more confident in my ability to just fight anywhere, man, on the ground, standing. The guy I'm fighting, he has a great stand up, great range, but I feel like we break down the skills like jiu-jitsu. I beat him in jiu-jitsu. straight kickboxing. I think I'm better than him straight kickboxing. Traditional martial arts, that's going to be the factor. Who puts it together better?
I remember when BJ Penn went up to 170, and it didn't seem like he took the training seriously because he didn't have to cut all that much more weight. How do you balance not having to cut the weight and push yourself but still be in the best shape possible, even though you get to now fight with 15 more pounds?
Yeah, well, at 55, man, a lot of my training was hindered because I had to do so much cardio. Like, to get down to 155 pounds, a lot of my training was running. So now I'm, like, actually, instead of running so much, I get to roll more, I get to kickbox more, I get to spar more. So I feel excellent. I still have a long time, so I feel great going through this.
In this
camp, actually.
Right. And when does that start? Has it started yet?
We started already, yeah. We started the pre-camp and put the size on and make sure I feel good at the size. Like, so I'm going to be sparring at a little heavier weight, so I want to make sure I'm still fast. I got to have the speed and I got to have the ability to get in and out on this guy. So that's what we're focusing on. And
so in your mind, is this just a pit stop, or is there a chance you look and feel good and now your new home is 170? What are you thinking early on?
It's definitely not my new home. I got some teammates that are here at 170. Ben Askren, for example. I know what the top of that division brings, and I'm realistic about it. If a guy like Ben Askren is going to fight like that, that's stupid for me. But a guy like Wonderboy, I feel like he's not going to wrestle me. Maybe he will, but I just feel like he's not good enough to be on top of me. Like, my jiu-jitsu is too good for that. So that leaves us with a striking match. So I feel like that's what I wanted. I want to have a great striking match with a guy who's going to bring it.
Before I let you go, Anthony, what do you make of the state of your brother's career? Because it seems like the 125s are kind of, in limbo right now, and he had to move up to maybe remain in the UFC. Maybe that's not the best weight class. Maybe 125 was better for him. He does have a win over Joseph Benavidez. Is it frustrating to see him kind of, struggling to find a home here when it did seem like he had a home at 125 and was doing pretty well these days?
Yeah, man, we just had this conversation, actually. We just finished our second conditioning. After this weekend, who knows what happens with that division? And he's top 5 in the world at the division, so I think it makes sense for him. If that division's done, obviously, to go back and try to get the title shot. But we're just like everybody else. We got to wait till we hear on social media, on TV, what's going on with the UFC. Like, we have no idea if it's staying, if it's leaving. We just hear the rumors. So, for us, we're just trying to get prepared for what's next. So, this is how we feed our families.
Sure. So if they do keep it, and like if Henry did in fact save the division, do you think there's a chance he goes back down to 125?
I can't speak for him, but I would like him to. I think it makes sense.
Right.
Where he's at in his career, it definitely makes sense. He worked his butt off to get to that spot, and he kind of just had to give it up, not because he lost it, because the UFC was like, hey, we're not doing it anymore.
Right. Well, for you next, it's 170, March 23rd, Nashville. What a fun fight. Just sort of like a dream matchup, if you will. A fun fight for the fans. 2 guys with great styles going toe-to-toe. It's going to be a lot of fun. I appreciate the time, Anthony. Good luck in training. Good luck in the fight.
Appreciate it, bro. Thanks.
There he is, Anthony Showtime Pettis. So he has fought at 145 in the UFC. Of course, he has fought at 155 in the UFC. And now he is fighting at 170 pounds. Wow. Who saw this coming? I certainly did, especially not after a fight against Tony Ferguson, but it is going down March 23rd in Nashville, Tennessee.